What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing? I made it. Yes, I made it again. Episode 6. Feeling good, feeling great. Um, oh my God. What's up, Zay baby? How you doing, love? Oh, what's up, cuz? What's up? Y'all checking in over there on Instagram. Y'all gonna hang out with me for a little while. Today's topic is, should parents pay the price? Kids, your kid is the new criminal. Your kids is the new criminal. Okay? Your kid. That's what we're gonna talk about today. But before we talk about that, what have y'all been up to? How has y'all week been? I know we celebrated Juneteenth this past weekend, and also it was actually observed on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. Um it was kind of different this year, like, because I worked. I know a whole bunch of people worked, which was like really weird, right? Because like the weekend there was a lot of hype about it. They had like a lot of I actually flew home to South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, Chucktown, to hang out with my family and participate in a parade, Juneteenth parade, in remembrance of my nephew Amari, who passed away at the age of 16. So we did that, and then pretty much it. And then Wednesday came around, and then like I was at work, and everybody was at work. Everybody that should not have been at work, all the people that should not have been at work were at work. Um, and it wasn't really much. I didn't see a lot of things about Juneteenth on the actual Juneteenth day. Maybe because I was just at work all day. But I know next year I challenge you, and I'm going to challenge myself to actually be off the day before Juneteenth, the day of Juneteenth, and the day after Juneteenth, to really observe the holiday and take advantage of being celebrated. So, what's up, B Miles? So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be taking advantage of that. Because I feel like I worked and I was just like totally exhausted. I didn't even go to work the next day. I actually took the day off because I woke up and I was extremely tired. I wasn't mentally, I wasn't there. Physically, I wasn't there. And then I actually went and got my vitamin therapy. Shout out to Vital Flow Buckhead. Okay, if you're not familiar with the hydrotherapy, the IV bag, let me tell you, that is the best thing ever. I've been a member since 2024, and like it definitely works. This past Thursday, I actually got the B12 shots, the injection, which gives you energy. I got the Toradol to help with like the tightness and the inflammation and just the soreness. I got magnesium, which is also great. And I also got this new concoction they put together, and it's called the Love Potion. And it has taurine, zinc, and two other ingredients that I'll have to look up for y'all. But it's actually supposed to be for men who are experiencing erectile dysfunction, because it's supposed to help with your cardiovascular, your health. What's up, Complex? What's up, Anthony? What's up? But it's supposed to help with that. And but every time I take it, like I'm on cloud nine. Like right now, I'm just like feeling really good. The energy, y'all can tell, right? Y'all can tell. Like, and I actually feel guilty when I actually get this concoction, because I feel like, is this really healthy to be this hyped? Like, feel this good? But it's all natural, and it definitely boosts my energy. So if you are considering doing hydrotherapy, the vitamin bags, or whatever you want to, IV bags, whatever y'all want to call it, definitely look into it. Definitely look into at least getting the B12 shots. They are much more healthier than actually doing like the Monster energy drinks, the Red Bulls. B12 is just a great vitamin to have, to give you that energy, and it clears your mind. Like literally, y'all, I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. So definitely got glad about that. So if you have any questions, just hit me up, DM questions, whatever about that, and I can give you more information about that. Other than that, how was y'all week? How is your weekend going so far? Did y'all celebrate Juneteenth? Did y'all do anything? Did y'all work? I know there's a question whether or not if you did work, were you entitled like time and a half, like other national holidays? I know at my job, they allow us to use it as a floating holiday, meaning if I work, I can just use that to substitute for another day. So let me know if anybody had any type of good experiences. Did you work? Did you feel like I feel like all of a sudden you just look up and like, oh my God, it's Juneteenth while I'm working? Um, and or do you feel like, because I also seen some posts online where like a lot of people were kind of, I guess, in their feelings because they felt like other races were taking, I don't know how to put it. I don't want to say taking advantage, but they felt like it's our day and like we should be the only ones celebrating. So I kind of have mixed emotions about that because I feel like if if other races are doing it to highlight and celebrate us, then it's one thing. But then if they are doing it to like just to kind of take our culture, I don't know what they call it, but to just take over and once again, like other people say, kind of steal from us, then let me know. But at the end of the day, we as black people, we are definitely magic, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think I was overwhelmed like this weekend and last weekend because I was doing a lot of flying. But we naturally create magic. We naturally go in and make things happen. So I think that's one of the things that just kind of we have to just accept, like we create magic, and because we create things and we make things happen, there are always going to be people that try to copy us or take what we have, but at the end of the day, they can never be you and they can never be me. Okay, so let's just remember that, and also find a way to actually um make it a positive, turn it into a positive situation where if you feel like other races are taking advantage of our culture, um then just, you know, tell your mind like they just want to be me, like, and leave it at that, you know, and definitely don't participate in any negative negative online comments, because now you're bringing that negative energy into you. So anyway, shout out to all the parents out there because we're going to talk about our kids, your kids, their kids, the bad kids, the good kids, like kids in general. So shout out to y'all. I am a parent of a 25-year-old, and when I tell you parenting does not stop at all. So just know that parenting does not stop, okay? Um it doesn't stop. Like your parenting style changes. You know, hopefully you're changing your parent because you can't go around trying to spank an 18-year-old, 19-year-old because that's just not gonna happen. But um you have to grow your parenting skills. You have to develop parenting skills as your kid gets older because you don't want to ever lose the trust between you and your child or your children, because you want them to be able to come to you when they have issues, and you want them to be able to come to you when there's a problem, and just to be honest. And so I had a let me give you a great example. So my son Marcus, he is 25 years old, and I woke up this morning and I call him because I'll call and check on him to make sure like he's staying on track, doing his homework. You know, you got to still be in your kids' life. You got to motivate them, right? As parents, we're leaders, so we got to motivate them. And so I call him and it's like 7 in the morning and he's like wide awake. And my kid, no, he's a sleeper. He sleeps late. He works. He All his classes are in the midday. Like he works evening hours because he likes to sleep in. And he's like wide awake. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? What are you going to work? He's like, nah. He's like, Ma, I'm just getting home. And I'm like, what? And so he's like, yeah, I was at a pool party all night. And let me tell you, like, I went into full mommy, like, like he was a 6-year-old mode real quick. I was like, what? And I was about to like just spaz on him, like, what do you mean you? And I had to catch myself. And I was like, wait, don't yell at him because he lives on his own. He is 25. I mean, like, I used to party. We used to party, man. We used to party all night. We used to party and like literally party, come home, take a shower, and go to work and take naps at work. And so I had to catch myself. And instead of like kind of fussing at him because I wanted to be like, no, you can't be out late. Like you can't like what pool party? Like you can't, it's dangerous, this, that, da, da, da. I just listened to him and he told me how much fun he had and just all like just he met some new people and he just was really excited. And I was just like I felt relieved because I knew like at that moment my parenting skills have been paying off because Marcus doesn't really drink and like he doesn't really club. He's more of a like homebody gamer, like he does music engineering. And so just I had to tell myself you're doing an excellent job. Like just continue to motivate him and continue to be there and he will do everything he needs to do. And that just feeds us right into our topic of today like like what is really going on with our youth and our kids and how like literally they have become like the new violent criminals. Like kids are really out here like just yeah. I didn't realize I guess I didn't realize like you don't really think about what's going on outside your little bubble, your little space until you see something on the news, right? And so there was something on the news where it was these kids, it's about 4 or 5 kids, and they I guess they were playing and one of them ended up drowning their friend and all the other little kids witnessed it and instead of them like telling their parents they covered it up. They didn't say anything. And then once the young person's body came ashore, of course, the detectives did their work and they found out, um, what was really going on. But it's just really sad to even know that, like, how many kids are actually being like caught up in this system and how young they are. And the question does become like, should parents be responsible for when their kids commit violent crimes? And is that something that is actually becoming into law in different states? And so I did read that like in 2020 law enforcement agencies in the US made an estimate 424,300 arrests of persons under the age of 18. So that is, imagine a packed out arena times 4, right? 424,000. Let's just round it up to 424,000. 424,000 kids. And we're going to call them kids because they're under the age of 18. And that was in 2020. So, like, what do y'all think? And we're talking about violent crimes, right? We're not talking about like misdemeanors. I mean, because I guess misdemeanors can lead up to violent crimes, but we're talking about murder, shooting, stabbing, choking, like, you know, um, hate crimes, just a lot of things that, should a parent be responsible for their child when they're doing these bad things? And there actually, like I said, are some laws in place. But let me let's so when I went online and I typed in juvenile crimes, right? And Associated Press was a website that came up that just had a, when I tell you, a gang of juvenile crime stories. Like it was a lot. So I just took the ones from 2023 and then I took they have some from 2024 and we'll kind of discuss some of those and y'all can tell me what y'all think. But it's just pretty amazing. So here is one that I found really interesting. So, and I don't even want to say interesting, but it was like, what? So a Mississippi teen was accused of killing a pregnant 16-year-old. Okay. A Mississippi teen was accused of killing a pregnant 16-year-old. Okay, so now we got two issues. Not only do we have a murder, but now we have a 16-year-old that is pregnant that probably shouldn't be pregnant. But in Gulfport, Mississippi, and this happened in 2023 around May sometime, a 15-year-old male from Mississippi was arrested for the death of a 16-year-old girl and her fetus. Okay. Three other teenagers were also arrested in connection with the case. He actually shot her, and he's facing counts of second-degree murder and one homicide of an unborn child. And at the time, he was being held at the Harrison County Adult Detention Center. And he did get a $500,000 bond. All right. So the young lady, she was 16. She was actually shot in the head, and she died Sunday after she was taken in one of their personal vehicles to the Memorial Hospital. And she was actually 3.5 months pregnant. The shooting actually occurred at the apartment where she lived, and at the time they didn't know what led to it, why he shot her. But the two other juveniles that were there were ages 13 and 17. Okay. And Jamarian Jackson, 19, was actually the one who shot her. But I don't really like, I don't understand, like, so Marcus did go through a phase of like just, I don't want to call it a monster, but I remember there was this lady. I don't know if it was a nail technician or somebody, or my mom or somebody. Somebody told me, like, when Marcus was younger, I was like, "Oh, he's such a good kid. Like, I don't have no problems out of him. Like, you know, just a great kid." And they literally told me, they was like, oh wait, baby, wait till your son turns about 16, 17. Like, then that's when it changes. Like, they turn into these monsters. Like, they turn into like these like, and literally, like, Marcus did kind of turn into like this child where I was like, oh my God, is this my child? Like, what's going on? And during that time, I still kind of had those old parenting skills that I had when he was younger. And of course that wasn't working because he rebelled even more. And I mean, we was at each other, but I never like gave up on him. And even though like I might have been mad at him or punished him or disciplined him, I would always just turn around and say, but I love you, right? And I would always kind of come back and have those conversations with him and tell him like what are you doing, like, and not the argumentative, but I just had the patience to continue to parent. And I think that's one of the things that people may lack when it comes to when your child becomes this person they're growing into, is you definitely, you can't discipline them the same, and you definitely cannot give up on your child, because and you just have to always be in their business. Like, you just have to be in their business. Like, you have to take their phone. Like, and they have attitude, and you have to ask questions, and they may be like, but you have to do it, right? And you have to know who their friends are, and you have to, like, because that is the responsibility of a parent. um and so he went through that monster phase, and it was rough. And he was like a junior in high school when he waited till junior high school. 12th grade, he got a little better. And then once he graduated, he went to school for a little bit. And then when he came back, he's still pretty good. And then all of a sudden, he met this girl. And oh my God, we'll get back to that. And then, because that turned into like another one. But here's another one. Okay. A 7-year-old now. 7-year-old is elementary school. Um, and this one is a little bit like I'll read it to you. But a 7-year-old child was charged with arson of the family home. Now we talking babies, okay? We talking elementary school. So, and this happened also in 2023. It was a 7-year-old West Virginia child was charged with first degree arson after intentionally setting the family home on fire while the child's parents were asleep. Okay. Um, the fire did cause minor burn injuries to two people. And so also, but here's the plot twist. The stepfather of the child had been charged with child abuse involving the 7-year-old, and that's probably why that 7-year-old reacted to that, because I think, as now, just to play like the devil's advocate, I think at 7 years old, you may be thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do this little thing because I want to hurt this person, not realizing how big of an issue it is. And in this situation, I can understand why this 7-year-old kind of acted out. And y'all let me know if y'all agree with me, but I can understand why this 7-year-old decided to act out, because he was being abused. And once again, we can say that's the parents' fault, right? The stepfather. And that's another thing. Like, you have to be careful who you have your children around. I know when Marcus was a baby, like I would like I would want to go out because I was a young parent. Like I was a parent like in my early 20s. And I wanted to go out. Like, and I was living in Atlanta at the time. And this is when Atlanta was popping, right? This is when Buckhead was like Buckhead, and it was like nightlife. This is when like it was like $5 to $10 to get in the club, and parking was free, and like just partying, right? And there was really there was a VIP, but it was like $20. VIP was $20. And all you had to do was have a piece of paper that where you signed up to get in for free, and it was just really popping. So I would want to go out, but like I I just couldn't really go out a lot because I didn't really want to leave my son with just anybody, because I would be like, what are they gonna do? Like, and then if my sister was in a good mood, I told my sister she would babysit, but then I'd have to pay her like $40, $50 to babysit for a few hours. But I still would rather do that than just kind of leave my son with just anybody, right? Because you just never know. People have cruel intentions, and you would we want to think children are innocent, right? Except these right here I'm talking about. And they're probably still innocent. You just have to figure out what's their thought process. But like I just couldn't leave my kid. Like I just, as a parent, like you just like as a parent, that is like your kid. Like, and yes, they get on your nerves. Oh my God. They're like they do, because you need a break. But you know, they're your children, and they're a representation of you. And, it is your responsibility to make sure that they are doing what they need to be doing. My light is moving here. I swear, I think there's like a ghost in my house. I don't know, y'all. It sounds like I'm tripping or I'm being funny, but because I'm gonna jump off it real quick, because I have bought forks, and y'all let me know if y'all can agree with me. I have bought forks. Okay, I have bought forks, and forks disappear. And now that I live alone, I have bought forks. And when Marcus comes over here, he comes over here. I don't really cook. I don't know how to cook anymore, but he'll cook. But he never takes like leftovers with him. Like he never takes any. And like literally, it's like two forks, two spoons, and one knife. And I'm like, and when I like, if I take my lunch to work, like I bring it back, right? And I don't even take forks. I don't even take utensils to work, because they provide that for us at work. But I don't even have forks. So I swear there's somebody in here that lives with me, and I think they come out when I'm not here, which is fine because they don't really mess up anything, but they do take the forks and the spoons and the knives, and they take the towels. Okay. And then let me know if that happens with you all. Do y'all have like someone in your home and they just take your stuff? They just take it. Anyway, I just had to put that out there because the light started moving like it behind y'all can't see it, but it really started moving unless like it's a small earthquake going on. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so here's another one, um, which is really sad. Teen charged with murder and suspected overdose death of two high school students. Okay, so um, here's an example where being a parent of a high schooler, whew, child, it's rough. Even and I don't even care. Like you could have the smartest kid and they could be just they're gonna get in some shit. They're gonna get into something. And they're gonna get caught. Because the smart ones always get caught because that's how they're destined to just get caught, and get caught and never do it again. But even the smart ones, even the really good ones, when they get caught, it freaks the parents out because it's like, oh my God, like not my kid, not my kid, but they're gonna get caught. So anyway, a juvenile has been charged with second-degree murder in the deaths of two Tennessee teenagers who officials believed overdosed in the parking lot of their high school. Golly, they happened in high school. Again, this happened in 2023. We haven't even got to 2024. Okay. Um, so two teenage girls were found dead Tuesday back in May last year, at the high school, and a third was hospitalized before being released Wednesday. All three of the students did attend Fayette Ware High School. They were found in the parking lot of the high school hours before its graduation ceremony was set to begin in the school's gym. So they got high. I guess they thought they were going to get high and then go to the graduation, and that's what happened. But again, I wonder if they got it. I don't know if it says what they overdosed on because it's just a pretty short article. It just says the judge decided that the girl charged in the deaths would be released to the custody of her grandmother and actually placed on house arrest. Um, and then at the time last year, they was going to decide whether to try her in adult court. I think in this case, it was one of those things where, like, a lot of people are taking drugs and these pills, and that has fentanyl in it, and then just are overdosing. But even like I remember being in high school and like the kids that got high when we were in high school, we just were like, oh my God, like they're like trash. Like, and we weren't saying trash back in the day. We were just saying, oh my God, like they're the worst. Cause they would come into class smelling high, and they would be high. And then it would be like the kids that we grew up with in elementary school and middle school. And then they would grow up to be those kids that would get high. And I mean, we would just be like, oh my God, like they're they're like trash. Like they're just throwing their lives away. Cause I didn't start like alcohol and marijuana until I got to college. And that was different because I was free. I was grown. But if you did it in high school when we were in high school, we just thought it was the worst thing ever. Like, who are you? Like, oh, why are you like, because it was a pothead at the time. And being a pothead back in the 90s was not like this cool thing like it is now. Like now being high is like, high. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really sad that now like these kids are taking these pills, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is because you can't really overdose on weed, can you? I know you can. I heard you. I don't know. Let me take that back. I don't know, but I heard that you can kind of overdose taking like edibles, um and even you can have a really bad trip when you do mushrooms, but I don't think you can like pass away from smoking weed. Maybe you can, I don't know, but I think these kids are popping pills. which again is unfortunate because as a parent, you know when you should be knowing like when your kids' behavior changes, and you should immediately step in. Like, I'll watch movies because I don't really every all the parents that I know, we 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 would kick our kids' asses if the people that I know, if our kids were doing some mess like this, oh, we gonna be the ones in jail for real for beating, like not beating because I don't want to like I don't want to start nothing, but you know what I'm saying. Like we don't no, our kids aren't doing that. We asking questions. We trying to figure out what's going on, and or they gonna be in trouble. Like, and so I'm just curious because I'll watch some TV shows and some movies, and I'll see like how like some of these kids, and we're not just gonna say we're not gonna put it on one race. Okay, this is not a one race thing, and but in the movies it's usually just one race where the kids usually get away with murder, but like, and in the movies they'll just be like, oh, and the kids will slam the door and be like, leave me alone. Leave me what? Leave me alone. Who are you talking to? You talking to me? Leave you alone. I got you. Leave you. I got you. Leave you alone. I'm gonna leave you alone. You're gonna be sleeping on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, for real. And so I don't understand. Like it's gotta be poor parenting because unless your kid is like mentally, has a mental issue, mental health issue, mental crisis, and like you fear your child, you fear going to sleep because your 7-year old is going to possibly try to kill you, or you fear your 16-year old is just beyond uncontrollable and you've done everything you can and you literally have to call the cops. That is one thing. But if you're just like, okay, okay, Shaniqua, just come back when you want to talk to me. I remember doing a sleepover, right? It was like a grown up sleepover, it was girls' night or whatever, and it was like the real sleepovers, like I don't. That's a whole nother story right there. But it was like a like just come over and some of them had young kids. Like at that point, I think my son might have been with his stepmom, and so one of the moms, and I used to work with her, and I knew she was just like she black woman. I just knew she didn't want to be black anyway. I'm gonna put it like that. She didn't want to be black, and so her daughter, one of the other daughters, like kind of had like an attitude, and her mom was like, "Yeah, just." She's like, "Okay, I don't have time. Go back upstairs." Da da da. So this lady goes, "Yes, just go upstairs and um write down your feelings and why you're feeling the way you're feeling." I was like, what? I almost got put out at that little slumber party because I was like, girl, like, because I already knew, like, she was trying to parent, um, she was trying to do a different style of parenting, right? And I do believe races do have different styles of parenting. And so that's what she was doing. And it was just like, what? And anyway, she's like, just go upstairs and write a note. And I was like, write a note? Like, no, like we don't write notes. If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, and your parent tells you and they try to correct you, it's no going upstairs writing why I feel this way, why I should be doing what I want to do at under 18 and you're living in my house and like I'm taking care of you. Matter of fact, 18-year-old maybe, because I feel like maybe 18, that's more a different style of parenting. That's a better way for your 18-year-old to express themselves. So yeah, maybe, but I'm not telling no 11-year-old go upstairs and tell me why you feel the way you feel and so I can understand what's going on. No. No, not at all. No, I'm not even about to laugh about that. That's crazy. All right, so uh here's another one. Here's one where I feel like this is poor parenting. So Oakland police arrest children's ages 12 to 17 for a string of robberies. Um, so it's 3 girls and 6 boys, and they range from the age of 12 to 17. And they were arrested for nearly 3 dozen robberies. That's a lot. Okay, that's a lot of robberies. And you don't know what's going on with your child. And the Oakland police said they basically terrorized the community. Um, and so I don't, I don't, I don't really, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, it's like you gotta know when your kid is bad. You gotta know when your kid is doing something bad. There is no way you're that delusional not to know your kid is up to something. You just maybe because maybe you may be the parent, and I'm talking about the parents who go to work 9 to 5, you know, have the mental capacity to function day to day regularly without, I'm not talking about maybe parents who have like alcohol issues. I'm not talking about parents who abuse their children. I'm talking about a parent who, like I said, appears to be a normal functioning adult, and you're not paying attention to your child. So anyway, the police, they caught the 9 minors when they spotted a vehicle that was wanted in connection with one of the robberies. And so but mm-mm, it ain't it's no way. It's no way I'm not gonna be not knowing like my kid is out here like just causing hell. It's not, because they're gonna your child changes, like your child changes. And so because you see, when you're paying attention to your child, you see the changes that they go through. So you're gonna know, like, oh, you're dressing differently, oh, you're wearing your hair differently, oh, you're not as happy, oh, what's really going on. And while it can, like, again, it is, sometimes I remember I would think, like, even with Marcus being 18, I would think, like, okay, he should know better. Like, he should know how to do this. He should know. But they really don't. Just because they are 18, or just because old enough to do certain things on their own, they still need the guidance. To they still need someone to lead them down the right path, because they've never done it before, right? They've never, you know, had a job before. They've never, been to college. They've never, like, this is their first time going in high school. This is their first time having a girlfriend or boyfriend. This is their first time driving. This is their first time having friends that are bad and influencing them. This is their first time getting in trouble for making their first mistake. But it's one of those things where you have to know, like, what's really going on. And I do believe, like, yeah, um it it is parenting. um Here's one more that I want to talk about. Uh uh that happened in 2023, because there are a few that happened in 2024, but this is one where, well, I'll do two, because again, they're young. So here's one where, a Minnesota 14-year-old was arrested in shooting death of a 12-year-old. Okay, and so I can say this probably is the parent's fault, because how do you get a gun? So this happened in St. Paul, Minnesota, last year in August. They arrested a 14-year-old in the shooting. Y'all, a mosquito bit me. A mosquito bit me, and it's crazy because I think he bit me on my hand, but like I'm scratching all over. But anyway, um, the 14-year-old was arrested in the death of the 12-year-old, and actually being held in the juvenile detention center on charges of manslaughter. And of course, he's not going to be identified because he's 14 years old. The 12-year-old, after he got to the hospital, he did die. Um, he was shot during a birthday celebration. 14 kids were having a sleepover. They were playing with a gun when it went off. And yes, that would be the parent's responsibility. Um, I feel like anytime there is a situation where a young person has access to a gun, and it is in the family home, or it is in a home, that whoever owns the gun should be held responsible, because first of all, they shouldn't know that you have a gun. Okay. And if they do, it should be locked away in a lockbox. It shouldn't be loaded. And you should also have that conversation and tell them about safety, gun safety. Like when Marcus became a certain age, I just had straight up conversation with him. I was like, if you play with a gun, you're going to die. I didn't sugarcoat it, nothing. I said, play around with a gun, you're going to die. And that sounds cruel, and it kind of come off as scary, but that's the truth. If you play with a gun, you're going to die. You're probably going to die. And even when it came to, like, situations where we had to talk about, like, people touching him in certain body parts, like, I would use the terms, like, I would be like, they shouldn't touch you here, and I won't say it because we're on this platform and my mom could be watching, or she might come watch later, but I would use the words because that's what the kids use in school. So I wouldn't sugarcoat anything, and I would make it as extreme. I would do it just so extreme that he would look at me like, sometimes when he got older, he would be like, Mom, like, for real. I'd be like, yeah, like, it's gonna happen if you do it. And he might have thought I was crazy, but I can tell you now, he didn't. He's not a good kid now. He's been in some shit. Marcus found himself in some drama. But the thing that I can say, that he found himself in some drama, but because of our relationship, because there's love there, because there's trust there, because he also has that fear, like, I better tell my mom, because if I don't tell my mom, like, I'm gonna be in trouble. You know, he was able to come to me. Now, he didn't always come and tell, like, the full truth. He would come and give me bits and pieces, and I would have to out of him. And of course, I would be furious. I would be upset. Because I remember one time he got in some stuff, and I was just like, look, you and all of y'all gonna go to jail because not having it, and don't bring it to my house, like, just drama. And I was just like, dude, and even the young man, I can say one thing I can say about Marcus, he has been able to connect with some pretty decent, like, the friends he has now, they're amazing, and I'm just so thankful. Like, they're just amazing. Thank you, God. Like, he has some amazing friends, and they're best friends, and they just really got good head on their shoulders. But, like, he connected, especially when he was really involved with his music and going to different studios and stuff like that. He had got caught up with some people, and the one kid he got caught up was also a good kid, right? But the kid came to my house like he was just about to pop off, and I was like, yo, no, no. And I was like, I'll tell your mama. I went and found his mama on Facebook, and I told him, I was like, I found your mama on Facebook, and if you don't calm down, I'll let her know what's going on. And he was like, why would you? And I was like, cuz, like, y'all are kids. Like, y'all both have really great things going for y'all. Y'all have great futures. Why are y'all wrapped up in this mess? You know what I'm saying? And finally that got taken care of, and I think Marcus, he learned his lesson pretty much. But again, it goes down to parenting. And so let's jump over here in 2024, like the current year we're in. So we have a 10-year-old. Okay, a 10-year-old, he confesses to fatally shooting a man in his sleep 2 years ago. So a 10-year-old 2 years ago shot a man. So that means he had to be 8 when he shot the man. But the 10-year-old, he confessed to an unsolved killing in Texas, telling the investigators, and this happened in April, that he shot a man he did not know while the victim slept. Okay. The boy, who was just shy of his 8th birthday when the man was shot 2 years ago, he actually had been evaluated at a psychiatric hospital. but cannot be charged with the crime because of his age at the time. In Texas, the law requires a child to be at least 10 years old to have criminal culpability. So he had to be 10 when he did it, but he is being held in a juvenile detention center. Ooh, my Mac about to go to sleep. Hold on, y'all. Let me charge it. It's being powered. I hope this one is. Y'all bear with me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. Hopefully I can still hear you. I think I can still hear you. 'Cause if this Mac go to sleep, the live will be over. Let's see. There you go. Beam. We still on, y'all. Can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let's see. I'll be needing help, y'all. But that's what happens when you go live. Let's see. Get my microphone still on. Can y'all hear me? Testing 1, 2. Let's see. Let me see if the mic is still on. Hold on. Yep, we still on. Perfect. Okay. Um, so who are we talking about? This 10-year-old. This 10-year-old confessing. Um, damn, y'all. And he shot the man was 32 years old, and the 18-year-old shot him in his head while he was asleep at an RV park. Um, and the man had just moved there a few days before. Um, sad 8-year-old deciding to shoot somebody in the head. So they found out the boy. Oh, I'm pushing. Oh, I'm pulling stuff. Anyway, I gotta get longer cords. So anyway, the boy, um, the boy's possible connection to the case was uncovered after sheriff's deputies were contacted on April 12th of this year about a student who threatened to assault and kill another student on a school bus. So apparently, this kid does have anger issues. And they learned the boy had made previous statements that he had killed someone 2 years ago. Um, so so he had been visiting when this happened, he had been visiting his grandfather. Um, and he actually used a 9mm pistol to shoot him. Oh, he got it out of his grandfather's truck. Out, and he just entered in the man's RV and shot him in his head. And then shot him again in the couch before leaving. Shot the gun again in the couch. And then returned the gun to the truck. Um, but he never met man. He said he just saw him earlier and just decided to kill him. So that's pretty wild. And pretty sad. Um, here's one. A staff member dies after assault by a juvenile at an Iowa youth facility. So this kid had already been in the facility, a youth facility, and actually killed a staff member. God, there's so much hate in these youth, man. Like, and I do believe it's the parents. Like I can say it's parents, okay? I can say it's parents. And this was a 15-year-old who actually assaulted the staff member. And y'all remember this one. I know y'all remember this one. The two juveniles that was charged in the mass shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Um, this one was a sad one. Like I'm being attacked by mosquitoes. I know they love this, but gosh. Anyway, so two juveniles were charged with crimes connected to the mass shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl rally. And I remember reading about that. And they're under the age of 17. And they're in the juvenile system. And I don't think they're gonna be charged as adults, but this is a serious crime. I mean, this is, well, no, they said in cases involving serious crimes such as murders, the juveniles as young as 12 can be certified for trial as an adult, because this is a crime. Um, so initially, they said the police had obtained 3 juveniles, but they released one who they determined wasn't involved in the shooting. And again, that was really sad. You know what I'm saying? Um, because they had over like 25 people that were actually injured. And it's crazy because, like, you just be shooting up. Like, what's you kids, you parents? All right, and this is the one that actually, this story right here was actually the one I was talking about when I first started going over these crimes. I'm sorry, y'all. A mosquito just like tore me up. Loves all his skin. Um, this is the one. This is the 6 kids, including a 9-year-old, that were charged in the drowning death of a Georgia 15-year-old that was found in the pond. Okay. So this actually happened June 14th. This actually happened last week. And the 15, this was, but they didn't arrest these kids till like weeks after the 15-year-old's body was found floating in a retention pond. And all 6 youth are under the age of 18 and they are facing charges in his death. Okay. Um, and what I read was the 11-year-old is actually going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter and concealing the death of another. And so you have a 17-year-old who didn't say anything, and you have 4 other minors, 9, 11, 11, and 12, who are also going to be charged with concealing the death of another. But they were actually released in the parents of their custodies. I feel like in this situation, this may, as far as the 9, 11, 11, and 12-year-old, and the 17, well, the 17-year-old should know a little bit better, should know and have said something. But I feel like the 9, 11, 11, and 12-year-olds, I'm gonna give them a little bit of grace because they probably wanted to say something. And they and their probably parents probably knew like something was going on with them, because I'm pretty sure they were having trouble sleeping. They probably didn't want to eat, like, and so I'll give them grace. But once again, it said weeks went by before they found out. I feel like as a parent, you probably should have already been asking questions as to what is really going on with my kid. Like, something's different, asking questions and really trying to figure out, like, hey, like, you're acting strange. What's going on with you? Um but again, um there are laws that are going to be, and I'm going to pull some of them up, in what states, because I know it's North Carolina. I definitely know North Carolina, um where the parents are going to be charged. um Hold on. Yeah, so it's some states have a variety of laws, whether they're going to hold the parents responsible for the youth offenses under what they're going to call the parental culpability laws. Okay. um and most of these cases involve lower level matters such as skipping school or damaging property. But we're talking about laws where violent crimes. And I want to say, let me see if I can pull it up. I thought I had it, where the mom of the kid who, let's see if I can find it, y'all. I think this is the article right here. Um, the Michigan mother, um, she's gonna be tried for her son, in the school shooting that he did. And so her 15-year-old son carried out a mass shooting at his Michigan high school in 2021. And her name is actually Jennifer Crumbly. I wish I had a picture to show y'all. I don't have one right now, but Jennifer Crumbly, she was actually she's going to be charged for that because they actually have her on camera where she was leaving a shooting range with a handgun. Um, she had taken her son. She actually took her son out to do target practicing with a gun. Um, and she actually posted online like mom and son day testing out his new Christmas present. So apparently she bought him a 9mm pistol. Um, and then he actually described it as my new beauty. So she actually provided her son with a gun. So she definitely needs to be charged for this. Um, and authorities said that that was the last picture they have of that gun until they see him murder the 4 kids on November 30th. And Jennifer, the mom, was the last person holding it. But so they're charging her. I mean, I feel as though um and she's actually gonna be the first parent to be charged, held directly responsible for a school shooting carried out by their child. I know they have another one going on, but this story is just a little bit more recent. But now I do feel she should be responsible. Like I do feel like she should be responsible. Especially if you're like, because it's not like it's one thing if like you were raised in the country and you live on a farm and your parents teach you shooting and you learn how to hunt. That is one thing. But to just take your kid to a shooting range and be like, yeah, come on, let's go to the shooting range. Like, no. What? Who's taking their kid to the shooting range? Anybody? Is anybody still there? Y'all taking y'all kids to the shooting range? That is wild to me. Like, no, we don't take our kids to the shooting range. Anyway, um, I think parents should be held liable for their kids. I really do. Because I feel like especially if you have a kid that once again, it's they're not going through like some type of they don't have like a mental disability or they're not like one of those really really troubled kids. They're just one of those kids that are mischievous and you just don't want to take the time out to parent. Yeah, I think you should be held responsible for your child. Let me know if y'all agree if parents should be held responsible for their kids crimes. Because again, um you know in 2020 it was over 424,000 kids who were arrested under the age of 18 for crimes. Um, and so there needs to be laws that are for parental responsibility laws. I know there is some concern, like especially in the lower income communities, like kids who may be in one parent households. But again, you know, as an adult, you brought this kid, and I see that mosquito. You brought this kid into the world. It is still your responsibility. And yes, you probably should be held accountable. Now, if you do have a child that is just a troubled child that you can no longer control, then I definitely suggest you seek help with that. And then at that point, if your child is already in the system as being one of those children that you just can that's just already lost, then at least you have done your part. And, unfortunately, there is a paper trail tied to that child. But then again, your accountability is no longer, you're no longer accountable for, that child. But if you are a parent and you just like, I ain't got time, and your child is under the age of 18 and you just want to TikTok and you just want to be on social media and you just want to do whatever and don't really want to parent and just have your babies dancing in sexy red, no, sweetie, you got to be held responsible because it starts in the home, right? It really starts in the home. As parents, even as a young parent, we have to do better. We have to, even if our circumstances, our outcomes didn't play out the way we wanted to play out, I think as a parent, we should at least allow our kids the opportunity to be the best that they can be, um, and really get into them. and all of the crap. Like if they're just doing, like, it's a mosquito in here and he's really like trying to get me. He's really trying to get me, y'all. But I feel as though like we should, like, as parents, really take accountability for our kids and really start to pay attention to what they're doing, who they're hanging out with, and asking questions and taking their phones and doing what we need to do. And yes, it gets annoying, and yes, it can be overwhelming, and it can be like, oh my God, but you cannot give up on your kid. You can't. You cannot, because it is, as adults, as parents, it is our responsibility to grow and help these kids become responsible adults to make the world go around. Um, I'm about to wrap up because my hour is up and the mosquito is driving me crazy. But before I do go, I do want to tell y'all to make sure y'all stay safe and hydrated out here. Um, it is, because it is really hot out here. Okay. Like, and this was last week and the week before. We had, I know a lot of y'all felt that heat wave. Okay. Y'all felt that heat wave. So y'all make sure y'all stay hydrated. Because the US, we're definitely, a lot of states are hitting like daytime temperatures up to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, and it's hot. It is definitely hot, as y'all know. Like, y'all live in some states. When I was in Orlando, I thought Orlando was hot just because it was Orlando. And then when I came back to Atlanta, I was like, oh, it's hot. And then, obviously, we are under what they call a heat dome. Okay. Summer heat wave, heat dome. It was a little better. It was better today because I was out today and the day before. And then I think on Thursday when I was off, Wednesday and Thursday, it was windy and it was a little bit cooler. But again, we want to make sure that we're being safe because the CDC reports an estimated 700 people die each year from heat related deaths. And y'all, one of those deaths, and I know y'all heard about it before, is actually the pediatric vehicular heat stroke. Okay. If y'all not familiar with that, let me pull up this slide for y'all so y'all can see. Um, so this is when you leave your kid in a hot car. Okay. They actually die from pediatric vehicular heat stroke. And in 2023, there was a total of 29 pediatric vehicular heat stroke deaths, um, which is a lot. Okay. You got children dying in the car. That is a lot. And just for y'all to know what pediatric vehicular heat stroke is, it's like when you leave a child, when a child is left in a vehicle and that child's temperature can rise quickly, that's when the heat stroke begins. And it begins when their core body temperature reaches about 104 degrees. And then the child can actually die when their body temperature reaches 107 degrees. Um, and again, 29 children died in a hot car last year in 2023. And there was some really interesting statistics that I did see about that really quick. About 52%, well, let's just say 52% of the kids that died, which is about 505 children, and this is statistics like within a certain amount of year, I think from 1998 or something like that. I can't remember, but um, about 505 children they actually died because the caregiver just forgot, like the parent just forgot they were in the car. They just forgot. And then 25%, the child actually gained access to getting inside the car and locking themselves in, which is another thing that we should be aware of. Make sure you lock your doors and stuff like that, and don't have keys available. And then here's a sad statistics: about 21%, 200 children, they actually died and the caregiver knowingly left them in the car. um, which is really, really sad. Right now in 2024, there have only been reported 3 deaths. Um, Back in May, it was a girl. She was 3 years old, and the temperature was 88 degrees. And she actually died in Columbia, South Carolina, and in West Virginia. There was another little girl. She was 3 months old, and it was 85 degrees, which again is not hot, but like they said, when you put them in the car, it only takes about 20 minutes for the temperature to reach 120 degrees in a 70 on a 70-degree day. And then in California, this most recently last week, it was 77 degrees and a 2-month old girl died of it. One thing that is being done now, there have been, like, prior to 2024, there were actually federal regulations put in place that were requiring the newer cars to be equipped with hot car alert systems. And basically, this is like, if the rear seat will be activated. And if you have a 2024, I think these are in 2024s. Um, Basically, what happens is, as soon as you open that back door, it's going to automatically, activate a reminder that a door just opened. And then it's just going to assume that you're putting something in the back seat. And then the reminder kicks in at the end of the drive, right? So you open up the back door, whether you're putting groceries in or whatever, it's going to alert. It's going to automatically trigger that alert in that car. And then as soon as your trip stops, it's going to beep, beep, beep until you open up the door and get, the dashboard is going to chime. So, and they're calling the rear occupant alert system. And again, they're in, Acura, 2024 Acuras, Buicks, Cadillacs, Chevrolets, Ford, Genesis, GMCs, Hondas, Hyundais, Infinitis, Kia, Lincoln, Nissan, Subarus, and Toyotas. I'm surprised they not in, like, the luxury cars, Mercedes, like Mercedes, and I didn't see Lexus on here, Mercedes and BMWs. I guess the people who have BMWs and Mercedes, I guess they have nannies and they don't take their children anywhere. I don't know. I'm just playing. But anyway, soon all makes and models will have those, which is a good thing, because even with the pets, I know some people, y'all have y'all pets and it's just gonna alert it off, which is really good. Because, and that may be why, like, right now, because we are in the middle, we just started summer, and there's only 3 deaths. And last year in 2023, there were many, many more around this time. So very good. But yes, on that note, you all make sure that, you if you don't have that alert on your car, that you be a responsible parent, and make sure your kid is not in that car. Um, if you are feeling like one of those parents who don't want to be a parent anymore for whatever reason, like you just don't want to be a parent, then, check in with your family member, your local church, or even your local fire department before you decide to take a child's life away. Like, and that may sound funny when I say check in with your family member, your local fire department, or your local church, but that's real talk. Like, if you are just a parent and you have become overwhelmed and you just don't want to be a parent no more, don't lock your child in the car and have them die, because that's just gonna make your life worse. Just find somebody to reach out to and let the child live, I mean, and we'll pray for that child, and hopefully everything, you know, that experience of them possibly being parentless won't affect them, and they still grow up to be great individuals. But just be a responsible parent, y'all. Just collectively, just tap in. If you work with children and they don't have that guidance that we need, kind of step in, be that mentor, like, because I feel like if you just show some love, just show some love. Just and continuously show love, then these kids do have a future. Because, like, y'all, we got to do better as people. We got to do better as parents, and we gotta hang in there. So in the meantime, thank you so much for hanging out with me, y'all. I appreciate it.
I'd like to touch you later.
I'm not a whore.
I wouldn't pay. Why the fuck did he leave you?
Lot of shit poppin', lipstick poppin'. Lot of shit poppin', lipstick poppin'. Lot of shit poppin', lipstick poppin'. Lot of shit poppin', lipstick poppin'.
I'd like to touch you later.
I'm not a whore.
I wouldn't pay. Why the fuck did he leave you?
What's your job?
A question. You've asked me a question.
So?
It's a chink in your armor.
I'm not wearing armor.
Yes, you are. You know I do. Why are you calling yourself Jane?
Because it's my name.
We both know it isn't.